Hi.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Cynical, Not Critical, or Critical, Not Cynical, because I'm backwards today. Tonight, we are very, very blessed and very, very honored to have Star Trek International fan films with us tonight who have asked us to, I guess, start a tradition for them of showing Peace and Goodwill, which is a film that they premiered last year, and excellent film. So we have in the for those who are usually here, you'll notice we have a few more people than normal. I had to, kind of cram everybody in tonight, but we have Ken. How you doing, Ken? And is
Doing
that
great.
Hayashida?
Hiya, Sheeta.
Sheeta.
I
Okay.
played Sulu.
Oh, yeah, he played Sulu, and then we have Mike Longo.
Hello, everyone.
Okay. He's the Kirk. We have Mr. Korath. How you doing tonight, Steve?
I'm in a festive, jolly, ho, ho, ho kind of mood. I finally got the cough and congestion under control. I missed the last 2 weeks with
Oh boy.
It's not COVID, but it was something that my roommate brought home, and it's finally 90% out of my system. So hopefully, we'll get through okay.
I'm glad you're better.
Okay, so skipping over the middle till end, we have David Chang on the very far right-hand side. How you doing tonight, David?
Doing well. Thanks for having us.
And then we have Bill down in the lower left-hand corner. How you doing, Bill?
Peace and long lasting.
We have Cousin Cheeto. How you doing tonight, Cousin Cheeto?
Phaser set to stunning.
Okay, and then in the middle, in the bullseye area.
I feel like in this whole slew, I'm like the Alice of the Brady Bunch. You guys surrounding me, and I'm Alice. I love it. Yeah, exactly.
No. You're the Paul Lind of the Hollywood Squares.
Paul Lind.
We need one more to make a Brady Bunch.
Well, yeah. It's all good.
The Stan Lee of fan films.
Yes, he is. I'm gonna get you a shirt that has this picture of Vance and Stan Lee standing side by side. Trek on one side and Marvel on the other.
I actually was with a Stanley impersonator, and I wanted to send that to you and be like, "Hey, man, check it out! Like, how cool is this?" Just the irony of that,
Yeah,
That'd be so cool. I like to see that.
Okay, so
I'll post it.
We've got Menard here.
Right. So David, before we start the film, you I feel take lead of most of these productions, so that's why I'm going to you. And if I'm wrong, feel free to correct me. What started this film? Were you the one that was in charge of this production, or was someone else in charge of this production? What started the production of this film?
Well, we were talking about putting together a very short video that would be like a kind of like a Christmas card greeting thing for our fans and the people who like to follow our films. It was just going to be kind of a short thing where we would get together and just sort of wish everyone a Merry Christmas and so on. And so that was the initial idea, and then it sort of evolved from there into doing a full length, not a full length, but a full story that would be a Christmas themed story. So that's kind of how that ended up. That's how it started, and that's how it ended up being the film that we're about to see.
Okay, awesome, cool. All right, well,
let's see who's out there. There's Jamal Taylor. How you doing tonight?
Hey, Jamal.
Hey.
And then we have Revolution Media. Good evening, Revolution Media.
Revolution, what's up, man?
Okay. And Mr. Brian England, what did you log into? We haven't figured out.
Total chaos, Brian.
We'll figure it out. And of course, we have the Miss Donna. Hi, Miss Donna. How are you doing?
Donna, welcome.
And we have hello, everyone. Jim's Landscape.
Hey.
Our Boone.
Commodore Boone.
Commodore Boone, what's up, man? Welcome.
Okay, and then we have Crazy Galvatron. Hi, all. How you doing tonight?
What's up, Galvatron?
I'm pretty sure that's a city in Texas.
No, that's Galveston.
Shh. Don't spoil my fun.
Yeah, I'll tell you about the parody I did of Galveston one day, but not during this one. Anyway, I can feel my stomach churning. Okay, and then we have FD Bragg. How you doing this evening? And
What's
Mike
up?
Shishel. Good evening from Lake Tahoe.
Lake Tahoe.
What's up, Mike?
My house. Okay, and then he's in close. And Claude Sailing. Everybody's coming in tonight. That's great. Wow, we're up to 20 already. I think that's a record for the first few minutes. That's great.
Wow, that's terrific.
That is
Claude,
terrific.
what's going on, man? Haven't seen you in forever. Miss you, buddy.
And
Hey, Teresa Matsushima.
It is the David Chang fan club we have with us this evening.
wow. Live long and prosper, she says. So there we go. Oh, love long and prosper. Okay, I like that one better.
Well,
Oh, good. That's good. Wow. Everybody, give people a couple more minutes to come in. I mean, we're
Sure.
just climbing up there.
And Revolution Media was, if anyone who watched me and Cheeto do Thwips and Quips from the other night, he was Block from the third guy who was with us on Thwips and Quips. So, yeah, anyone, cheap plug, go watch Thwips and Quips from NerdTube. If you haven't heard of that's what is that? The greatest.
Well, nowadays it's the greatest YouTube channel you might have kind of sort of heard of.
There you go. There you go.
Our subs are rising rather quickly, so we're trying to upgrade a little bit.
There you go.
Good deal.
So go follow that, watch it. It's a pretty fun program. We're talking about Spider-Man. We're hitting each week. We're gonna hit the next series of Spider-Mans. Last week we hit the Tobey Maguire movies. Next week we're gonna try to hit the Andrew Garfield ones. Then we're gonna hit the
Tom Holland.
Yeah, Tom Holland ones, and then we're gonna go into the new movie. So we're gonna try to make it work and line up for you guys. So yeah, so
That's cool. You'll tie it all together. That's the Marvel multiverse of Spider-Man.
Yes.
I mean, everybody's in the movie. I mean, I'm even in the movie now. Me and Vance and Block are going to be sitting there talking when Spider-Man's fighting people.
yeah, he's gonna be walking through, and that's that's, I mean, fans' expectations for that movie are so out there now. I mean, everybody and their brother and the kitchen sink, and I mean, it's just crazy. Every expectations, it's nuts, dude. I it's a great time to be a geek these days because I mean we got so much Trek on TV, we got so many cool comic book movies, and this is stuff when we were a kid you never would have even imagined this stuff, and now they're doing it on a regular basis. You got stuff on Disney Plus streaming on a weekly basis. I mean, Loki, they introduced the multiverse. We would never have even thought that possible, and look at what we're doing with just technology now. We're doing stuff we never would have thought possible when we were a kid. You had to pick up the phone on a corded telephone to talk to someone, So, I mean, dude, everything is just bonkers in the world. It's a wonderful place, despite the negativity. It's a great time to be alive.
Vance, if I may interrupt real quick on the Spider-Man rewatching thingy. I just did a quick online search to try to find the 1970s Spider-Man TV show that was on,
TBS.
and I can't find it, but I found links to the Japanese Spider-Man series that was on.
Yes, with the
I've
Megazord.
seen that.
That was great. I loved it. Like nobody knows about. Like nobody even talks about that. That was so great.
By the way,
So great.
Vance, you know who is going to actually be in Spider-Man No Way Home?
No.
Butler Venom.
Yes, Butler Venom. That's yes. So that was a running joke that we were talking about how the Butler who explains to Harry Osborn needs to come back, you know. And then we were like talking about how Venom was so poorly done in Spider-Man 3, and I was like, wouldn't it be great if, you know, because it really annoyed me how they kept pulling back the mask and showing Topher Grace, and I was like, wouldn't it be great if like that Venom comes back and they pull back the mask of him and it's really the Butler. So like we made it like a meme that, you know, Butler Venom. So like for a day, like, you know, Cheeto made that meme and I made that my profile pic. Because I was like, if you make that meme, I'll make that my profile pic. Because it's so dumb, but it's so cool, you know. And it's just, again, fan expectations, you know. But anyway, I digress. You know,
I would say we're way off.
Guys,
I'm pretty sure the actor who played him has passed away.
Yeah. Yeah, but all right, let's start the movie. We're going down rabbit trails here. I'm sorry, guys. I'm so stupid.
we're here to see a movie, guys.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Okay.
All right, I'll put myself on mute as we watch.
Yes, please, everybody mute.
The shared screen. Where's the shared screen, Frank? There we go.
There's too many of us.
With everybody in there, I didn't want to share the screen at the first part of it.
Admiral Curry.
Admiral Nogura, I'm about to leave the office. Are you ready to go?
You go ahead, Phil. I'm going to stay here for a while.
Why? It's Christmas Eve. Everyone else has already left for the day.
I don't have any plans for tonight. My daughter, Mitsuko, got assigned the holiday shift at Earth Station Gamma 2, so she won't be back for a while.
That's too bad. The newest person on staff is always the lowest person on the totem pole.
It's the Starfleet way. The newbies always have to pay their dues.
Don't stay too long here, Chiro. Tomorrow's a holiday, so you better not come in either.
Don't worry about me, Phil. Enjoy the holidays. Now what?
Admiral Nogura.
Ah, Captain Kirk. How are things along the neutral zone?
It's been peaceful and quiet, as it should be. I think the Klingons got the message that we aren't tolerating any interference on Novus 3.
I'm glad to hear that. So what are your holiday plans?
Some of the crew are putting together a shipwide Christmas dinner tomorrow. Might even break out the Romulan name.
Sorry, I didn't catch your last statement. All I'm getting is static. So, are you helping out?
I'll plan a nice speech. Thank everyone for the hard work this year.
One of your famous rabble-rousing motivational speeches?
Something like that. What are you doing for the holidays?
Nothing, actually. Mitsuko has to work the holidays at Earth Station Gamma 2, so she won't be joining me this year.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Well, you're certainly invited to join us for our Christmas dinner along the neutral zone. I can send a shuttle for you. It's no problem.
Thanks, but I don't think I want to spend the holidays patrolling the neutral zone.
I understand. Well, in any case, my friend, let me wish you a Merry Christmas.
Thanks, Jim. Merry Christmas to you and your fine crew.
Sulu Hikaru, Captain, USS Excelsior.
Security authorization accepted.
Humbug. Yes, Captain Sulu.
Responding with an update. Merry Christmas from Starbase 24.
Yes, Merry Christmas to you too. How is the observing at Novus 3 going?
Yes, sir. Excelsior repairs are in progress. USS Ingram and USS Awani are now monitoring over Novus 3. Some protests are still happening on the surface, but the Klingon incursions have stopped.
No doubt that your work with the government there has paid high dividends.
Kirk and Enterprise really helped us out. It's great that they were in the area. Starfleet family, Admiral.
I'm glad to hear the good news. Well, I hope that you and yours have a great holiday.
Thanks for the station leave for our officers and crew, Admiral. My wife and Demora came in yesterday with the families of the other crew.
You and your crew needed the holiday after all the activity at Novus 3.
Thank you, Admiral. Are you leaving work tonight? I hope you're having a good holiday with Meat Skull.
I appreciate your kind words. Take care.
Right, sir. Merry Christmas. Sulu out. Computer, call James T. Kirk, Captain, USS Enterprise.
Incoming transmission.
Captain Sulu, all is quiet along the neutral zone. In this sector,
Jim, Nogura's still working.
Oh, is he? Then we'll have to go to the next step.
Merry Christmas, Jim. Sulu out.
Merry Christmas to you too. Uhura, open a channel to Starfleet. Admiral Curry.
Jim!
Phil, Nogura is still in his office. Christmas Eve.
Yes, I'm working on it. Merry Christmas, Jim. Thanks for taking patrol duty tonight.
No problem. Merry Christmas to you. Steady she goes, Helm.
Captain Spock?
Greetings, Admiral Nogura.
I was working on my end of the year report and wanted to catch up on the latest with you.
I'm surprised to hear from you. Isn't this a time for celebrating your annual winter solstice holiday?
Not in the mood this year. So I decided to continue working today.
Curious. I'm laying the groundwork for a reunification between our people and the Romulans.
Very ambitious. How is that progressing?
I hope to present a case for reunification to the Balkan High Council soon.
You have chosen an extremely challenging project.
True, but the benefits of peace greatly outweigh the risk involved.
I can't think of anyone more qualified than you to lead such a project.
Thank you, Admiral. Don't you have a saying during the season?
Peace on earth, goodwill towards man.
A very good saying.
I have observed that traditions are very important to humans. Please remember the reason for your annual holiday.
Thank you for the reminder, Captain Spock. I will certainly try.
Good. Instead of my usual greetings, let me say Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas to you, Captain Spock. Phil, I thought you left already.
Hey, Jiro, come on over tonight for Christmas Eve dinner. It'll just be a few close friends.
Thank you, but I can't impose.
It's not an imposition. We'll have plenty of food. In fact, you can sleep in my guest room and stay for Christmas Day too.
Well, excuse me, I need to take this. Hello, Mitsuko.
Dad, I have good news. One of my colleagues canceled vacation and volunteered to take my shift.
So that means
I'll be coming home for Christmas after all.
that's great news. What time will you arrive?
Soon, no later than 1600.
Hold on. Phil, do you have room for one more?
Of course, the more the merrier.
Mitsuko, we're going to spend Christmas with Admiral Curry.
That will be so much fun. I always enjoy his funny stories and seeing his coin collection.
So do I. I'll see you soon.
See, Admiral, Christmas wishes do come true.
Indeed. So what are we waiting for? I still have to get a present for Mitsuko.
There it was.
Yeah, I do apologize for the volume at the beginning. I guess I have to have the headsets on to make sure it's up loud enough. So I cranked it up. Was it really that bad?
Huh?
It was just a little tough in the beginning, but then you corrected it pretty well, and then I could hear it very well after that.
I do apologize. So
we'll reenact that part for you.
I can play it again. I could watch that about 30 different So the information on that was fantastic. You guys really did a good job there. You know, in seeing the last couple of productions you guys have done, I really enjoy the green screen work that you're doing on that.
Yeah.
A lot of that, yeah, and that.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like a lot of productions, they have, it's very static shots, but you guys do complete green screen. And that's not easy to do. Or, like my productions, which is, Combox stuff. You guys don't do that. You guys utilize full backgrounds, and you guys have people, that, tilt, and sit behind tables. Like, you guys try to do the best you can for full background interaction type stuff. And you guys outdo yourselves every time, and you tell great stories. To me, I liked this story for being a Christmas story. It was, a short Christmas story that was in a Star Trek universe. It didn't set out to be something it wasn't, and I loved it. It was a good story. It really was great.
Yeah, it's kind of I guess you could say the hallmark of Star Trek fan films or something.
Yeah. Hallmark Channel. When Nogura gets visited by the three ghosts of the Federation.
Oh, I can see that now. Who's going to put that one together?
The thing about this film, and I watching it, it kind of pointed out the success of your other films. This brought to light the success of why you are successful on your films. The chemistry you have between your actors. I don't know if you guys act together, or if it's like a lot of films where you guys do all your stuff separately and then you splice it in later on. But the chemistry between your guys' actors, between, the Sulu and Kirk, or between Nogura and Kirk, or whatnot, like it's all there. Even between Admiral Curry and the rest of the people, like you guys have a real chemistry now that you guys have built up over several films. And it's wonderful to see those guys come on screen, and the audience feels comfortable with those characters. And you guys have now what, 6 films at your guys' 6 or 7 films?
I don't know how many.
Yeah. I mean, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, we're definitely more comfortable at doing this sort of thing. And in reference to what you were saying earlier, we are shooting all of this completely separately.
Yeah.
And some of the dialogue, but mostly it's because I think our friendships somehow are conveyed out here, our friendships with each other. And we try to make it a little more than Zoom Trek. And so we do try to add some layers as far with the effects, and this one you see for the first time, Kenneth was experimenting with some CGI. So all that CGI is stuff that him and our friend Wayne started putting together, and then some of the other backgrounds are just some digital backgrounds that I drew, and like the office and the fog on the bridge and that Vulcan background behind Jens. That's all stuff that we made just to kind of make it more than just like a regular room. And in fact, this is the first time we actually had some other animations besides regular CGI. I drew the bridge, the main viewer screen. And I animated those little dots that go in, those little lights on the side of the screen. And then Ken, he figured out how to add some time code to the very top, just like it does the Enterprise bridge has in Star Trek 6. So those little bits and pieces it's fun for us, but it's kind of an attempt to make up for it just being a Zoom call.
Well, the chemistry between like Admiral Curry and Admiral Nogura, especially their that relate, like it felt like you guys were in the same room, and it's not easy to do when you guys are shooting separately. And the conference call between Sulu and Kirk, like again, that felt like you guys were talking right there in the same room. And speaking from experience and seeing it from other fan films, it's very easy to see two people who aren't in the same room talk like they're not talking to each other, they're talking at each other. And it, with this film, all of you guys felt like you guys were talking to each other in the same room. You guys are sitting there talking like you're talking off screen to the person that's right there on the green screen. So I mean, it flowed flawlessly for me. and again, like, I mean, obviously you could tell that this was a green screen film, but that's one thing that I love about your guys' productions is this doesn't try to be something that it's not, and I love it because this is a good story that I could follow, easily, and I loved it for just being that. The chemistry is what sold the story for me. It was wonderfully done, very entertaining, and I loved it.
I gotta say, for Mike and Ken, I think they had the toughest job because they had to be close to the role model. They had to be close to Kirk. They had to be close to Sulu. I think for me as Admiral Curry, I could ad lib because there was no Admiral Curry, so it gave me the freedom to kind of just be me. I think the toughest part with the green screen was also eye line. So when we filmed it, making sure that we're actually looking at a specific eye line. And I know for me, I had to do multiple takes.
Well, I've said before with Mike, seeing his interactions as Kirk, the one thing like that when I saw him, I loved his interpretation of Kirk. Not to knock other people who have played the role of Kirk, but I've never really been impressed. But the thing that has impressed me with Mike playing Kirk is I could see the character and not the caricature of Kirk. And that's what I love about Ken as Sulu and as Mike as Kirk is I can see their interpretation and not just the caricature. And I love that because it doesn't bog me down and make me roll my eyes and go, this is stupid. It makes me see, yep, this is someone else's interpretation of this character instead of, God, they're doing a poor man's interpretation of Shatner. And I love that because I can now take that role serious in the story that they're trying to tell instead of, God, can you just stop hamming it up? But no, you did a wonderful job on the eye line thing. I know exactly what you're talking about. It's difficult to do, and it's very easy to screw up when they're right here, but you're off looking over there. And it's like, no, you can't fix that in post. And again, people will criticize a green screen film, but they don't realize it's easy to screw up. You screw that up. And the only way to fix something like that is to flip the camera and maybe instead of looking over there, you're looking over there because at least you're looking in the right direction. But I mean, you can't fix something like that, But anyway, I'll quit yakking. I'll let the other guys talk. I'm gonna go grab something to drink, but I'll be right back. But I love the film, guys. All of you guys, A+. Perfect. I love it.
Thanks.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, on those angles, I think on my lines, I think I shot it about 3 or 4 different directions because we needed the flexibility of being able to edit and pick which way Sulu was looking. So we did have a lot of discussion before filming and then during filming to give us the flexibility to be able to pick and choose which was going to fit. So I thought that was one aspect of it that was actually pretty fun because in doing the green screen, you don't have the benefit of the other actor being in blocked out. Yeah. So that there was people. Another aspect to this production is that it happened all during COVID.
Right.
so the professional productions were all shut down during that season. This was between the second and third waves of COVID that were hitting California and the country. So, you're at your desk and you're communicating with your friends, and then we're writing a script, and then we're trying to block it out from 1,000 miles away. So it's kind of challenging to do that. And then on top of it, the storyline was fun to develop with the team because we as David mentioned earlier, we were creating different storylines, and we had 2 or 3 different ideas, and it was just fun to creatively collaborate with other people that knew the characters, knew the setting, and knew the storylines enough to write something that was going to fit together.
I would say I also want to mention that that Ken was really responsible for the middle section of the movie. Although I kind of wrote a good part of the script, he came up with a lot of the dialogue and the scene that took place in the middle, where he and where Sulu, Kirk, and Curry are all kind of scheming to try to help Nogura to have a good Christmas. So that was really more of Ken's contribution there with that story aspect of the story and the dialogue. In addition to all the technical stuff that he contributed as well.
Wayne and our one other aspect of this group is that it is an international production group. Jens is in Germany and Wayne's in the UK in London, and so there would be phase shifting of communication from the West Coast to the East Coast to Germany to the UK because everybody's on a different time zone, and so that was pretty fun to communicate with, because Wayne would do these incredible 3D models and light them, and so what you're seeing in the visual effects sequence are actual 3D models that are being generated using the same software that the pro houses use. So that's why those models look so solid and look so reflective of the original models that we saw in the films. And that's really important to generate that scene in the context of Sulu sitting on the starbase. You're looking out a window and there's actually a shuttlecraft that comes past Sulu's window, and he holds up because there's cross traffic, and then it flies on. But if you look at the name on the shuttlecraft, it's named after Ron McNair, the STS-51 astronaut. So we saw the Onizuka in canon as a shuttlecraft, so we added in the McNair to add that tribute to him.
It's funny because I belong to Starfleet International, the international, and my chapter is the Ronald McNair out of. We're on it.
There you go.
The one thing I loved, and again, the attention to detail that you guys do in your films, I love it. And the one film you're talking, or and it's shot from this side, and it's looking, and the shuttlecraft is coming this way, and then it's front faced, and you're talking, and you see the shuttlecraft going behind you, and it's from a completely different it's from a completely different, and it's like most people would not even realize, and it's something that unless you're paying attention to what's going on, and it's most continuity things, they don't care, they don't pay attention. But like I noticed that, because as someone who makes that type of stuff, A has to lead to B. If it doesn't, but you guys paid attention, and I was like, man, you got it. You were doing, like, you were on your A game. That, like, I was like, I got to commend you. Like that shit right there is, you got it. That's awesome. So you got, like, tip of my hat to you, because I mean it's like most people, they the shuttle over here, that's really cool, but then they forget to put it in the shot behind them, and it's like I always let that go, because I'm like, maybe they didn't have the CGI shot, or maybe they didn't get and I forgive a lot of things in fan films, because again, like, I've made bad fan films, so it's like I let it go, but when I see shots that are done complete, and I'm like, you could have forgot it, because again, editing is also an issue. Sometimes people forget, but you didn't forget that. And I'm like, man, see, for all the things that could be wrong, you got it right. I was like, man, that's awesome. So, I mean, you guys are a wonderful bunch of people to see do that stuff. Like, it's awesome to see you guys doing that stuff, Anyway.
Well, that was all Ken. That's his meticulous attention to detail, almost ad nauseum. But as you can see, it paid off. That he had that wherewithal to pay attention to that kind of detail, to make sure that it would all fit together in that way, so that it would appear seamless, when it was all edited together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. When good or bad, fan films, attention to detail is important, and there's a million ways to go wrong, on this level of filmmaking. And it's funny about details is there's one bit where I'm sitting in the captain's chair, and I think I turn over to Uhura to say something to her, and maybe wink at her or something, and I drew the chair in Photoshop based on some images of the actual chair that Ken got for me. And so I thought, oh, this is great. I'll put the chair in there. But then in the actual shot, I'm actually sitting in my office chair, and I do this. And it's a 2D drawing. So I'm like, oh. So I ended up animating the chair. I warped it so it would slightly change perspective. And the beginning and the end of the movement is actually sped up at a certain rate and then slowed down to be as if you started one way and then you ended the other way. So I kind of did it back and forth. I'm screwed with it basically to make it match the movement of my actual chair.
And
I couldn't use the shot. I'd have to reshoot it.
I was going to ask where you got it because I actually thought that you were using a chair that was like that, honestly. And I'm looking at it and I'm going, I wonder where you got that one.
Oh, Mike, you gave it away.
I didn't even know it wasn't even a real chair.
Yeah.
Yes, Frank, and he'll rent it to you for $500 an hour.
Does it vibrate? Never mind.
Yeah, for sleep mode.
Oh my.
So, Cheeto, what did you think of it?
Well, I mean, I thought it was really good. I thought it was very festive. But you know what my favorite Christmas movie is of all time?
What's that?
Die Hard?
Die Hard. So your next challenge is making Star Trek Die Hard in space with a Christmas theme. Okay. That's your challenge. So I've said this before, and the one thing that I think you guys pull off really well that I'm never usually a fan of is when people take legacy, and Vance touched on this a little bit earlier, but when you take legacy characters and like Sulu, Spock, and Kirk and that, and you kind of try to emulate them and stuff like that. But I feel like you guys did it. I'm not a fan of it, but I feel like you guys have done it the best that I have ever seen. So, I mean, I commend you guys for that. Is that, I didn't, whenever someone's like, oh, here comes Captain Sulu, and then it's just, I'm not expecting George Takei, but at the same time, it's just like, so, I'm just like, oh, here we go. Okay, they're bringing in legacy characters to try to up the ante with their fan film. But with you guys, I felt like you guys, and I've seen you guys do it in other of your films, I believe. So I feel like you guys have hit the right note with it, at least for me. So, yeah. And I know a lot of people really like it. I am not a fan of it, but in that vein, I'm like, these guys actually do a pretty good job with it. So I'm not going to complain. So I commend you guys for that. I'm very hard to please when it comes to legacy characters. I would almost rather them not be there than people try to intimidate them.
Well, it's actually intimidating to do it.
Yeah.
Because everybody has expectations of what Kirk is. Because Shat, he has such a distinct style of acting that nobody can fully duplicate it. Kevin Pollak comes close, but he's doing it as comedy. And so, trying to find a fine line between, me trying to act being a non-actor and then, going against somebody so iconic. It's like,
I don't know what you're talking about.
Like you've done it before and go for it. Yeah.
I think the thing that works with you guys is, one, you're approachable as people. If I send you guys a message, like you send it back. If I say, hey, how you doing? You guys will send back, stop messaging me, but you guys, you're very approachable as people. And two, you're very kind-hearted. There's no ego there, so, and that shows very much in your portrayal of Kirk, of Sulu, of Nogura, I mean, I know Nogura is not necessarily the legacy character like Spock and Kirk and Sulu. Same thing with Curry. But at this point, it's your guys' your entire group. You guys are all lumped together with that kind-heartedness that just shows through. Where it's like, other people who've tried to be, the ego, the ego just bleeds through. Where it's like, oh no, and that's where the legacy problem goes through. Where it's like, I don't see, the humbleness of Trek, the kind-heartedness of Trek. It's like where some people try to make money off of Trek, where it's like you guys are simply doing it for the fun. So it's easy to see the enjoyment of Trek, and it makes seeing those characters on screen very enjoyable,
What I like about Mike is he's that mature Kirk. He's not the cowboy and everything else. He's settled down. He's, and that's why I like his portrayal, where the younger Kirks that are out there, they're trying to, be the cowboy and everything else. And I think what you bring to it, Mike, is the fact that you're not trying to imitate what you saw in TOS. You're at the TMP where you're contemplating, you're more reflective, you're more into yourself. As for David, when I look at Star Trek the movie now, I think of David as Nogura, because we've never seen Nogura, so immediately, it's not that. Phil's just Phil. No, Phil's a wonderful addition to that, because you give it dimension, that you can see that it's there, and your Sulu is great too. I mean, once again, you're mature. You're not the swashbuckling that you were on TOS. So I think why it works is because you're not trying to create TOS roles. You're trying to bring it forward into the movie era, and that's more why you're more likable, more amiable, or better suited for those roles.
The one thing I like about this film that you guys did was it's completely understandable that Nogura would be working, because he doesn't really have anyone to spend Christmas with or whatnot, and his friends are sitting there, kind of worried about him or whatnot, and a lot of us get caught up in our work life because it's like, we don't really have one to go spend Christmas with. And that's all of us. We all get caught up and we put our personal life on hold. And that's Nogura right here. But then when his daughter's like, hey, I'm coming home, it's like he gets this happy ending. And his good old BFF there, Curry, is like, hey, come chill with me, man. I've even got a room for you. And he's like, at first he's like, nah, I don't know, man. I don't know. But his daughter's like, "Hey, I'm coming home." He gets his happy ending. To me, this is a great story. It's a very human story. You could take that and take the Star Trek wrapper off it, put it in a different setting, and the story still works. And that's good Trek. That's good Trek. I think it's a great story at heart, because I think we all need to be reminded that we all deserve a happy ending. We all deserve a day off of work. Damn it,
There it is.
Even if it's for a moment. Sorry, son. I won't say that word.
Especially since you guys came out during a very hard time. To 2020, and now you're bringing it in 2021. I'm glad that you guys have made the decision to try to make this an annual event, because I think it's something that's like The Wonderful Life, Christmas on 32nd Street. Now, to me, this is going to be, I have to see it or it's not Christmas to me, because it is. It's with that heartfelt that you did it, and knowing the family love that you guys have, because those of us who are in the fan film community know that your crews and your team is like family to you. You spend time with them, even if you don't see them every day. It's not, we're not out there killing each other because, Ken, you can't touch the lights because you're not in the light union. Or you can't do sound and stuff like that. I mean, we're a team. You know, how many other people could say, yeah, I can't add it to the writing? Oh, David said, no, this is my script. You can't touch it. No.
I don't know. I think instead of a Die Hard Christmas story next year, like Cheeto said, I think next year, I think they need to have a Christmas story version of this, you know, where Admiral Curry, you know, dresses up in the bunny suit like little Ralphie does, and Admiral Nogura gets the, you know, the leg lamp, you know, except it's an Orion slave girl leg lamp, you know, and it says Fragile in Klingon, you know, from Korath, you know, so you know, you know, we get all our bases covered, you know.
Or we could do like a Halloween one.
What's
Mike
that now?
Myers. We could do a Halloween one like Mike Myers.
There you go. There you
Right,
go.
same face.
I want to jump in.
We have to have the Enterprise carried away by little reindeer.
There you go.
I want to jump in.
Sure.
I want to first, you know, again, apologize, Royce. Daddy shouldn't have said work. And then I want to say I will be critical. I will not be nitpicky. I like Spock referencing the autumnal equinox instead of Christmas, or the winter equinox instead of Christmas, because of course that's not something that's an international. I mean, it is, but it isn't, and it wouldn't be a universal or, you know, Federation-wide thing. But I appreciate that, and I appreciate the cast. And I've had this discussion with Cheeto and Zam before about how so many fan films are so stark white. And it's like, you know, if you really want to reflect the Earth, the largest population is of Asian descent. You got China, India, Indonesia, on and on. Huge population centers, so there should be more, you know, variety of faces on these starships and in the command offices. So I love that. I love the camaraderie between the actors, which comes through in the characters, and yeah, I enjoyed it, and I feel as though I should try to hammer out a Christmas story at some point now myself.
A Klingon Christmas.
Die Hard Christmas. Die Hard Christmas.
If I may, my favorite personal
Christmas.
My personal favorite Christmas film is, of course, Santa Claus Conquers the Martians.
Yeah. Isadora is in that.
Why did you think of that?
So if I'm going to go that route, my other favorites are On Her Majesty's Secret Service, where Bond stops Blofeld from poisoning everyone at Christmas time, and Batman Returns. But anyway, I didn't mean to bring anything down or anything, but I enjoyed it. I just had a couple of thoughts.
Yeah, no, that's what this is. That's
very cool.
what this is about, man. Like every aspect of it. That's what it's about, brother.
Now go to the corner.
If you look at Kirk at the end, we were talking earlier about the happy ending for each character. And I think in the script, Kirk ends up with his family, which is the Enterprise.
Yep.
You know, that ship is kind of his girl. So he wants that for Christmas. He's the only guy that's working at the end of the film. He's sailing off to do his patrol duty while Sulu and Excelsior are at the starbase and the rest.
But for him, but for him, is it really work? Because I mean, that's
right.
You know,
that's right.
The thing I like about this, is there's very few things that are between Star Trek V and Star Trek VI. To fill in the gaps, you know, because I mean, and you know, my wife and I watched within the past week and a half. We watched Star Trek: The Motion Picture all the way through Star Trek 2009. We stopped at Star Trek Into Darkness. We haven't got to that one yet because my wife and I both had the time. to do that. And she was like, I don't remember all the Star Trek movies. Let's just start watching them to get through them. So we did. And the one she hates the most is Star Trek V. And then was Nemesis. But I really enjoyed the fact that this was something to kind of fill in the gap between Star Trek V and Star Trek VI. Because I know there's like, I think 4 years or 6 years between those two movies chronologically, if I'm not mistaken. And to me, it's like, that's a huge amount of time. Hold on just a second. Hey, Royce, just a little bit quieter, buddy. To me, that's a huge amount of time to leave, to characters. And they even talk about in Star Trek VI when they start that they're on the verge of retirement. Well, when you end Star Trek V, and you're hopping galaxies, to on the verge of retirement. Well, what did you do between those times? I know we had the DC comics that were going on at that time, but I mean, what else did you do? So I love the fact that this is one of those films that takes place between those times. I love the filler, so go ahead, Cheeto.
Vance, what I want is I want you to bottle whatever you gave Mona to to make her want to watch Star Trek movies. You bottle that, and I will buy that from you so I can give it to my girlfriend. We watched I think Star Trek 2009. She was not interested, and I think we watched Wrath of Khan, and she was still not interested. The only one that she actually liked was First Contact, and I haven't gotten around for her to watch. And I'm like, dude, Star Trek VI is the bomb. Why can't you watch this one with me?
The first movie I ever watched with Mona was Star Trek Insurrection, and that was, and she was like, I'm not really a Star Trek fan, but I'll go watch it with you. My dad likes Star Trek. And I was like, man, I should be dating your dad. And she was like, that's a really weird thing to say. And I'm like, you know what? In hindsight, I think you're right. That is kind of
Star Trek Insurrection. I like that movie, but you have to watch all of TNG in order to appreciate that movie. And that's unfortunate.
That's true. See,
I was thinking
I-
with all the Star Trek movies, I really like the music. And I was going to ask David how he picked the Christmas music for the film.
Oh, gosh, because it was a Christmas themed film, I just scoured the internet for some free Christmas themed instrumental tracks that we could use to, play in the background. And so that's kind of basically the story. I just looked around, saw places that were offering, free royalty-free tracks that, had a holiday or Christmas theme to them. Picked some that would work for the different scenes and went from there.
I think it perfectly worked for all the scenes. Wow, it actually came out really, really good.
Well, thank you.
It all comes in the editing and in the creativity and putting it all together as a team, and that's what you guys do.
Well, I think for this film, we definitely wanted to have a strong family feeling, to the story, where it's not just Nogura and the crew or people, fellow colleagues in Star Trek. It's people who he works with, but who really care about him and are concerned about him and really want to make sure that he's, having a joyful time at Christmas. And so I think that family feeling is something that we, try to put across in this story and in the film.
Sort of like, doesn't he ever rest? Get he has to have fun sometimes.
Yeah, definitely an A-type personality.
You know, Vance, you were talking about those gaps between the films, those classic films. The other gap that I think is really worth noting is that gap between the motion picture in 1979 and Wrath of Khan, and that there's so many stories that could be told in that area. It's so interesting to me. We should give a shout out to Robert Wise Productions and the pros that are working on the director's edition right now of Star Trek: The Motion Picture. They're putting that all together right now, and it's just going to be great to see that roll out on Paramount Plus or even in the theaters when they get that done, because that's going to be a unparalleled visual and auditory experience compared to what we've seen before.
See, that's one of the reasons why I enjoy, the fan films, is because you have that ability to fill in those gaps, to tell stories that that you normally wouldn't tell, that you wouldn't normally be able to do. And to do characters like you guys were talking earlier about, when you hear the name Nogura, you think David, and that when we were watching Star Trek: The Motion Picture, and Kirk and Scotty are talking about Nogura, the person that clicked in my head was David, and I started thinking about him, sword fighting, and that scene, and no, I did,
right.
I did. And I did think of Bill in his motion picture uniform. Like I did that scene,
right.
that screen, like it was a poster, a screen capture, or something. But it was something that I saw online, and I don't even. I mean, I could point the picture out, but it is something that I saw online of David and Bill, in their motion picture uniform, and then I had a vision of David sword fighting, but I mean that's what popped in my head, of Nogura, and it's it's me watching the motion picture. But that's what I love about these fan films, is they fill in those gaps that we don't know, because outside that, I don't know what Nogura is. All outside of, before I ever met David or saw any of your guys' films, the only thing I knew about Nogura was, Kirk making some comment saying "you're right," and I'm like, why'd you say it like that? That's weird, So I mean, now I have something else to associate with Nogura, like, oh, it's my friend David, But that's what I love about, doing, people doing fan films, and especially your guys' productions, because not only have you guys done stories in, areas that other people haven't, but specifically in this time period of early TMP, or between Star Trek 4 or Star Trek 5 and Star Trek 6, where most people don't. They always stick to TOS or Next Gen. They don't stick to something like this, where and telling original stories, where it's an ensemble cast. So you guys, outstanding job. Every time you do something, it's original.
Vance, I'm the new guy. I mean, when you look at Human Adventure and the work that they did on the prequel to the motion picture, I mean, the cosplay alone is really intensive in the study of what kind of costume needs to be on those characters to fit the period correctly.
Yeah.
And that's not a small hurdle to cross, to just be able to get that right. So Mike, David, and Bill have done that work. And that I mean, it shows when you see those kind of fan films that have that kind of depth of cosplay and the accuracy of the costumes.
No, it looks phenomenal. It looks phenomenal, man. I mean, it looks, and that was one thing that the shows and the movies were always great about, is the look of the costumes. They fit the actors wonderful, and that's something you guys mimicked wonderfully. I mean, you can't knock them. Even if you're not a fan of those uniforms, the way they looked on your actors, they were great.
You know, one other comment about the motion picture is that I actually went back. I'm in the motion picture fan club, fan group on Facebook, and we actually have a variety of different university and community college level faculty that are in that group that love motion pictures so much that we have been comparing notes for years on this, including faculty out at Ivy League universities. Robert Fletcher's archive and collection is in the Houghton Library at Harvard. So one of the faculty members at Harvard went into the archive and worked with the Harvard University archivist to go through Robert Fletcher's original drawings and notes on these costumes to make sure that we were consistent. And then Robert Wise's own notes for the motion picture are at USC. So I actually pre-pandemic, it was only like 2 weeks before the pandemic started, I actually got access to those files and went through the notes. There's 4 copies of different scripts for the motion picture in 1979 in that archive that we actually picked through. And the Nogura scene that was produced in Human Adventure was produced before I actually went into that archive to look at what those scripts were. And it's really interesting how Robert Wise in that film, in just those lines of dialogue, conjure that whole picture of what Starfleet is, and the relationships between Nogura and the other admirals, and the whole process fits into our brain within that dialogue between Kirk and Scotty. Even though if you look at the other scripts, it's pages and pages of dialogue, and there's scenes in Nogura's office with all these different admirals, and the scenes change from script to script. So it's really interesting what that storytelling is like, because our minds as kids, that when we saw it in 1979, we conjured up all in our own heads what Starfleet was about just from that dialogue between Kirk and Scott. And that's the kind of space that I think our storylines are kind of playing in. You know, what is, we saw it in Undiscovered Country's briefing room scene, where you have all the admirals sitting there. And there's so much story that could be told in that. So that you're right, Vance, that is a fun place to sit and to think about in the fan film genre.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's funny because, you know, until you guys mentioned it tonight, I haven't really thought of that we have not really seen a lot of what goes on at Starfleet Command, and we do get that with Admiral Curry and Admiral Nogura.
That was one that, you know, when they sent me off to Starfleet Academy in Dreadnought, when I left that production, you know, I finally became an admiral there. And when I came back to Crossroads, I said, you know, heck, how am I going to get back to being a Commodore? So I pulled the old TMP and had a temporary reduction. And then I said, wait a minute, hold it. I'm in charge of brand new experimental ship, the Harrison. Why can't I be a rear admiral? So 2 or 3 scripts down line, I'm going to be going back to rear admiral. And what we're right now, we're looking at that time period between the end of TOS leading up to TMP and going into there. And we've got some ideas of a little bit different costuming. But one of the hardest things that I have found doing the Wrath of Khan era is it's hard to find decent looking Monster Maroons out there. I mean, I've been looking for an Admiral Monster Maroon, and I can't seem to find anybody unless I want to spend $4,000 to have it professionally, you know, in that point. So how do you guys get over that? How do you overcome that? Because your uniforms look pretty good.
I met David Chang. David and I went to WonderCon in 2018, and we met up there. That was the first time we took a photo together in Anaheim, and I remember texting with different guys over Messenger, and at that point in time, our favorite costume supplier, A Novos, was cranking out their Monster Maroons, and I just happened to hit it right to be able to order one and get one. So that's what happened, was that I ended up with one of those costumes, and then I took it over to a tailor, and then they tailored it so that it would fit right. And that was the point where I realized, oh my gosh, in the pro productions, they're doing this for every actor. They're doing it for like 3 costumes of that actor. Then they're doing it for the costume changes for 3 costumes on that. Then they're doing it for, and then in motion picture, I mean, when you look at the list of all the costumes that are in Fletcher's notes, I mean, they have like 5 different changes of costume for each primary actor that they're then having to replicate 3 times. And then something that I want to get out there in the fan community is that people criticize Fletcher about the color of the uniforms, but what was going on in the notes, in Robert Wise's notes, was that they had those giant blue screens for the view screen in the bridge. And so depending on where you set the lighting of the blue screen, you got this reflection of the blue screen on the costumes. So if you picked the costume wrong in terms of the color, you ended up getting blue in your color, and you ended up matting out your actor. So you had to really understand the color of the lighting on set, the way it was going to reflect off the carpeting, off the bridge paint, and off of the costumes. And that's the reason why the colors are the way they are.
Why would they use blue screen?
That's what they were doing back then. And
that's what they used back then. And so they, like Ken was saying, and they worried about the spill light from the green from the blue screen, because if you're too close to one of those screens, the light will reflect onto you.
Yeah, I was gonna say, my green screen doesn't reflect. I have a blue screen in case I need it, but I shoot with a green screen all the time.
Well, green is the exact opposite of most flesh tones or flesh tone in general, and so green that's why green screen is used more now. But back in the day, that technology was still relatively new, because it started with John Dykstra. During like the Star Wars productions, to get that refined to the level that we're familiar with.
Yeah,
and so it's a little while for that to develop. And now, today, even we have that technology, and that's why it looks much better in fan films than it would have previously if you did the film even 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So I love in the first Superman.
At the beginning, I had my screen up that I had of a conference room, and he was saying, "Well, that really looks like I was in the conference room." Wait, let me see if I can find that. Yeah, right here. So that's that. And I've used this on a couple of shoots with. Actually, I had it with my Admiral, who was Admiral Reynolds, used this particular one when I had her shoot. So, I mean, that's the one thing. If you get a good green screen lighted correctly, you guys have proved it. I mean, it comes out really well.
Yeah, when they did the first Superman film way back when dinosaurs walked, they used blue screen. That's why there are some sequences where Superman's costume is green.
Mm-hmm.
They use,
they use that, and they used rear projection a lot in Superman the movie.
Yeah.
One of the things in one of the notes, there was a discussion about how close the blue screen could be to the cutout of the view screen, because if it was too close, you got more bleed into the bridge of the blue. Yeah. So they had to set it way back. And
one story I always felt that would be an interesting fan film would be like the story of what happened after V'ger dissipated and separated, because we see the Enterprise kind of fly off, and the whatever Picard said, take us out, or whatever he said, but what happens after that? Because like you said, there's a huge gap between the end of motion picture and the start of Wrath of Khan. But like, just from Earth's perspective, what the hell happened? Because when you have this cloud above Earth that just explodes, and you have these, energy balls above Earth that are like, around Earth that are like, hey, we're gonna fry your ass. Like, what happens?
It
Like,
didn't
I mean,
just it didn't just explode. No, it
it expanded to
went
like another plane
Yeah.
of existence
but like,
beyond
but I mean,
our universe.
Yeah.
But I mean, could you imagine, like, you're sitting there looking, you're having a cookout, and then you like look up, you're like, oh shoot, man, my Saturday night's toast.
Yeah,
You know?
Lawrence Krauss in his first book, I think Star Trek. It was either the physics of Star Trek or physics beyond Star Trek. He talked about this sort of stuff, and he said the Galactic Empire of Star Wars did not need to put an ion cannon onto the Death Star. Just having something that massive suddenly enter the orbit of a planet would pull it out and destroy it just by its sheer mass being right next to it.
Yeah.
Scientists, they ruin science fiction all the time.
I don't think the cannon on the Death Star was an ion cannon. An ion cannon is something that disables a craft. Just putting that out there.
Yeah, the Death Star's power was powered by
Kyber crystal.
Not dilithium, kyber crystals.
Yeah. So just putting it out there. Ion disables.
I wanted to say
dilithium. And I also want to put out there the fact that I just love the idea, because I was just sitting here listening to Vance talk about the V'ger, and I'm just like, the whale probe's coming up right behind it going, hey, are you in line for Earth? I mean, I'll come back in 10 years. I'll come back in 10 years. It's okay. I'll be back.
I'll get my turn.
Is it president of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy?
I want to. That's another meme I got to create now. It's just going to be the whale probe behind V'ger, and then there's Earth on the other side, and the whale probe just like, are you in line?
Well, that's it's kind of funny that you brought up the subject of what happened to V'ger after we see it, explode or dissipate or whatever happens at the end of TMP, because we're hoping to address that in one of our future films called The Human Adventure Continues.
Dude, dude, include me in it, because I really want to be a part of that. Because dude, for real, I really want to. I got an Admiral's uniform that I can pop on. I want to be on the green screen. Like, dude, I would love to be in that, because dude, I have been wondering myself, like, for years, like, what would you be doing, dude? Like, I mean, you're sitting there, you're frying your kielbasa, you look up and you go, shit, really? I just got a day off. It's like, I don't know if you've ever seen Clerks, but he's like, I'm not even supposed to be here today. I want to be that dude. Like, give me that line. If that's my only line, I will film that on my front deck, and I will send that to you,
All right, we'll think of something for you.
I want to be the bowl of begonias who looks up and sees Arthur Dent in the window and says, oh, no, not again.
Not again. Okay, where's my towel?
Thanks for all the fish.
No, like that's a good thing about you guys, is like, you guys, like most people, they want to be part of a production. They're like, man, I can be famous off this. Like, I'm just like, nah, you guys are cool as shit, and like, I love you guys. You guys are awesome. I'm gonna be sorry, son. I didn't mean to say that word. Sorry, buddy. Hot dog. Like, you guys are the cool kids. Like, I want to hang out with you guys. Like, if this is like in school lunch, I'd be sitting at your table. Like, man, you guys are my boys. Man, you guys are cool.
If it's not fun, then it's not really worth doing.
No.
That's exactly it.
So that's the thing, that even though, I mean, there's a lot of work that can go into it, and but it's at the end, it needs to be something that we enjoy and that it's fun, and otherwise, why do it? So we still want, we kind of come with that kind of attitude that we gotta have some enjoyment out of this.
If you walk away from a shoot and you go, wow, when are we going to do this again? It's a good feeling.
Yeah.
May I toss in a quick tangent for a moment that has nothing to do with the conversation?
No.
Yes,
you may.
I did an online search for Admiral Nogura, and David's picture came up. As did fan suggestions for James Shigeta. Shigeta.
Yeah.
And
I feel like that's on topic.
And Toshiro Mifune. And I just want to say that, in my humble opinion, that is one of the most tragic, almost castings in all of Star Trek that we didn't get, because during the 70s there were a couple of previously written up proposed Star Trek movies, including one called The Planet of the Titans, which would have featured my man Toshiro Mifune as the Klingon captain. And if ever there was a Klingon captain that needed to be cast, it was with Toshiro Mifune.
That would have been amazing. A little side note: he was also the first choice for Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Oh yeah, I read that. Yeah. And I do draw. I don't draw anything. I try to draw from him in my interpretation of Crow-Wrath, but really it's coming more from Jackie Gleason and his smugger than holier than thou attitude that he brought to Groff Cramden. But
how sweet it is.
I'm sorry.
I just love the fact that you type in Admiral Nogura and David pops up. It's like that's when you know you've made it. David, you are like living legend right now. Like mic drop. There you go. Like that's it, man. Like that is awesome, dude. Like heck yeah. That's
well,
cool.
all that shows you is how little there is out there about,
But that's cool. Like that means you've made the character your own. Like that's cool. That's awesome.
I wonder what would happen if we typed Eric Menard.
Nothing.
You'd get Vance.
I think Vance might show up.
We have a store around here called Menards. So whenever I type in Menard, I mean, that's what I always get.
But that's the thing, like Menard, Menards is MENARD. Like it's Minard. Dude, like that's the thing. Like when Michael mispronounced my name when they recorded it the first time, and I'm like, if the very first time I played Menard on a Valiant episode, I'm angry. Like if you watch the Valhalla Stone, where like that was actually technically the first time I played the Menard character, I'm angry in that episode, and the reason is because like they mispronounced my name the whole time. I'm like, it's Minard, it's not Menard. So when I finally played the Mirror Universe, I'm like, yeah, call me Minard, because I'm like, yeah, let's
admit it, Vance. It's Maynard.
Yeah, that's the Kelvin, man. If I met Maynard, man, if I had heard that before, I would have named that the Kelvin, Kelvin Menard. That keep it going.
When I typed in Menard, I got Napoleon's Retreat from Moscow.
Yeah, I'm a nobody. See see, David, you're already like living legend. Me, nobody's heard of me.
Oh, that's not true.
A big pizza roll pops up. That's all I am.
A big picture of a pizza roll.
I have one. Eric Menard's earliest shipboard assignment was as an engineer aboard the USS Enterprise under Captain Christopher Pike.
The first thing that comes up here is Eric Menard, Star Trek Expanded Universe, and then there's all sorts of information in this Star Trek Expanded Fandom Wiki.
And it comes up with a picture of the guy who's center target.
If you spell it right, you get Vance. If you spell it wrong, you get an accountant.
Here, I'm posting it into the in here under. There we go.
I love what Daniel Vance said. He said He said you get Hawaiian Punch pop-ups from your computer when you type in.
I still got to send that hat off to Daniel Vance. Dang it! And it's now like going on a year that I've owed him that hat. I've owed him that hat since last year when we had our raffle going on, and I still owe him that hat.
I don't know if that hat would make it through the through the mail. Like it was looking pretty shoddy last time I saw it.
Dude, I've got 5 of the same hats.
Oh, okay. Well then,
That's why in some because I film my films out of order, so that's why I've got different versions of the hat. So
the Kelvin Timeline hat.
No, that's yellow. Kelvin Timeline is yellow and black.
Oh.
That's like the Eobard Thawne version of the
the reverse Menard.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Maynard. Reverse Maynard.
Holy crap! I'm on this page. I'm on this.
And I still don't hold a candle to David.
Oh my God! Somebody has hold on. Star Trek Castaways. Eric Menard by Star Trek Fan 616 and DeviantArt. There is a Hold on. If I can get this, I have to get this to you guys.
What is Castaways? What is that?
Hold on. I'm going to the site. You need to bring this up on. Somebody needs to bring this up
Put
on.
it in private
Send it to Frank. What is it?
It's clip art of every version of Menard, but they're like little. I kid you not. Watch. Hold on. I'm gonna send this to you, Frank. Give me a second here.
Yeah.
I'm slow on the computer. Hold on.
I feel like I just hijacked the conversation, and I'm uncomfortable now.
Bring that up, Frank, and tell me that's not hilarious.
Wow. I just typed in Commodore Sam Grissom. I have a whole bunch of stuff.
This is worse than Googling ourselves and not,
I'm sorry.
I shared it. Here, Frank, I shared it. You can.
Yeah, I'm getting it. Yeah. Oh my God. All right, let's see. I'm trying to get a hold of it. Did you put it in the private chat here? Or did you put it? Oh.
No, I shared the screen. Go ahead and bring this bad boy up.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
What the fuck is that? I mean, what the heck is that? What?
That's amazing.
What?
That is amazing.
There's more hair than that.
He looks more like me.
Who did that?
I have no idea, but it definitely says Eric Menard.
Yeah, I can kind of see that.
Yeah, you're right. You have more hair than that, but I mean,
No, I don't think so. I'm looking at them on the left-hand side. I think they got that just about right.
You shush.
I think that's the McDonald's toy promotions they're doing right now on the Happy Meals.
All I know is that
that's really cool.
Collect all 10.
I am saving this image. That is what I'm doing right now.
I think that we're gonna make that the banner for No Budget Productions, Bill Fair Productions.
Oh yes, you could so do it.
What you got to do is find out who drew these and then bring them on for an interview.
It says Spider-Fan 616 did it at DeviantArt.
Yeah, you definitely got to reach out to that person.
What does the description say? What is it? What is the description?
This piece maybe the current version of Menard is something in the middle ground between the original version of the Kelvin Timeline. I mean, you got a whole explanation here.
Yeah.
There are many details beyond his initial and only exposure to quad lithium. I can never say that right. Having slow effect on his aging process in the original and wanting nothing further to do with it, like the Kelvin Timeline version. So he's actually explaining
Wow, I don't know who this is. This guy must be a fan or something. I don't know who this is. Oh my God.
Spider Trek Fan 616.
I don't know who that's. Wow. If anyone knows who this is, please tell them to contact me. Like, let's bring them on. Let's talk to them. Hell yeah, that's cool. I mean, I'm flattered.
You can probably contact them through DeviantArt. I mean,
Yeah.
there's comments here.
Yeah, there's a comment there. I'm gonna leave a
Yeah,
comment.
definitely reach out to this person.
Yeah,
I have to join the community. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, someone reach out to this guy and have him contact us. We'll bring him on, talk to him,
and tell him he needs to do some Crow Rat fan art too.
I think I've got a DeviantArt account. Just send it to me, and I'll look it up.
Yeah,
I sent the link to your Facebook, Frank, so you have it.
Yeah, I'm representing Mr. Eric Menard, and we'd like to find out, did you have permission to make him look balder than he really is?
Dude, I got a long head.
Dude,
I look like an egg.
Dude, it's like a Riker Picard mix. Like
It's a transporter accident.
What do you think, Royce? Does that look like Daddy? Does that look like Daddy? What do you think, Royce?
Like I say, I think he looks more like me.
I think that looks like when I'm. Although I don't see your yellow TNG uniform in here, I'm a little upset
really
about
good.
that. But yeah, I mean, is that all the different versions of Menard, or
No, I mean that's. I mean, you've got like different. I mean, there's no. I mean, there's a lot of variations of stuff, but I mean, I'm very flattered. Wow.
Well,
that's
you know,
very.
it actually looks like that they made that for one of those shooting galleries. We just go boom, boom, and knock them down. Boom, boom, boom.
I think that might be I think is that a Kelvin version of like Menard?
Yeah.
Which one?
Okay, then that might explain why it doesn't have like my version. Okay, so maybe that's a Kelvin version of Menard, or his idea of what Kelvin version of Menard is.
No, because it says my current idea is that the version of Menard is something of a middle ground between the original version and the Kelvin timeline version. But I haven't thought of any details beyond his initial and only exposure to quad lithium.
That's so weird. That's so I don't know who this guy is. Let's try to find it. Let's try to get a hold of him and talk to him.
I'm waiting for my clip art. It's just going to be me in a white, like a fat dude in a white shirt.
That's so many of us, Cheeto. That's Okay, let's get this screen off. Let's go back to the film because again, I've hoarded this. I've hoarded the show and I don't like it. Let's enough egghead shaped advances.
Really uncomfortable now.
I'm about to put it as the banner for no budget production.
Well, that's what I said. I can put that up there in a heartbeat. This guy's got a lot of different things in here, and he's got Jean-Luc Picard, Geordie LaForge. Let me see if I can.
Yeah, but the most important one is that he has Eric Menard. That's Maynard. He has Eric Maynard.
Oh, I do. Okay, so I am logged in. So let me see here. Chat. Can I chat with him?
Ooh,
yeah. Hello. Hello.
Yeah, Brian is a future Pizza Roll Diary guest. So I'm telling you.
I will do it. I will bring him. Speaking of Pizza Roll Diaries, Bill, we have a date for your Pizza Roll Diaries, don't we?
I don't remember. Did we pick a date?
I thought we picked a date. I can't pull up our chat in Facebook because if every time I do that, I always screw up StreamYards. But I'm pretty sure if we scroll back, I'm pretty sure we picked a date.
If not, just let me know and I'll check my calendar.
Okay. Well, Bill is going to be appearing on the Pizza Roll Diaries sometime in December. So everybody. We are going to be talking some good stuff with Bill. So I will be having a Pizza Roll Diaries at least 3 times a week, most of the weeks in December, and if not 3, at least 2 days on the week. So pop back in 1 o'clock Central Time, on No Budget Productions and chime in. And Bill is going to be appearing at least one of those times to discuss the fan films and some of what he can discuss on his film that he is a part of, which is, what is that film?
Alien Danger with Raven Van Slender. I can even talk about It Wants Blood too.
Oh, do tell. What is some of that?
So actually, It Wants Blood, I got to play with Eric Roberts as a politician.
Ooh.
And Lita from WWE plays my wife.
No joke?
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. So Lita from Amy Dumas plays my wife, and we're battling against Eric Roberts, and we both have monsters.
That, man, the life you must live. The only thing I ever battle is a clogged toilet from time to time when Royce gets so, that's, man, you.
I did there too. The clogged toilet. I did there too.
Man, that's now. When is that film supposed to be out? Because I know you said
it's already out. So It Wants Blood is already out there. It's on.
Okay. Is that streaming service, or is that something you buy in Walmart? Like, where can we get that at?
You can rent it on Vimeo,
okay,
or you can actually buy it DVD, Blu-ray, out on Walmart, Best Buy, FYE, Classic, Turner Classic.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's out there.
And you said for those, I see. I can't remember because we've discussed so much. Besides Egghead Maynard, we discussed Alien Danger. That is released,
premiering on Monday at the Chinese Theater.
Okay, and you said on December.
Sometime in December, it'll be released to Walmart, Best Buy. It'll be on DVD and Blu-ray.
Okay. And you can order that. You can't go to Walmart to buy it. You got to order that online, right?
Yes, right. And I'll put links out there on my Facebook page. It'll probably be out there on my IMDb, but it'll be available. But It Wants Blood is already out there. We released it back, I think, in 3 months ago.
Okay. So we'll be discussing those two things because, dude, the fact that you met Lita, oh my goodness, that right there, like, and you were married to her in the film, even better.
Is that cool?
Oh, dude, that is cooler.
A lot of my new films now have. I'm working with WWE wrestlers. So I just did a film with The Godfather, Papa Shango.
That is awesome. The whole train. That is
the whole train. And then The Powers of Pain, and they were cool.
Mm-hmm. So it's are these back? These aren't backed by WWE or anything, are they? Or
no
finance? No. It's just happenstance that you get to work with ex wrestlers.
Right. You put in a call. They seem to like working with us. They like the script, and they come on board. They're
like, hey, get that Bill guy from Star Trek Fan Films International and get him. We like him. He knows Nogura. He knows
Nogura. Yeah. I just mentioned David's name and they're on.
They're like, get him. We got it. Make it happen. It's I like it. So what do we have for before we wrap everything up? What do we have for individually? What do you guys have for your schedules, and what do you guys want for your characters coming up with your productions? And what do we have actually on the horizon for you guys as a group? Starting with you, Ken. What do you want for your character? What do you want coming up?
Wow. That's an interesting question. We're kicking around a couple different treatments right now, and they're early. And they fit into those spots that we were talking about earlier about the the slice of time between 5 and 6, or before TMP or just after TMP. So we're playing around with a lot of that. One of the storylines that I've been very interested in trying to explore is the early storyline of Sulu. When he comes back from the mission, somewhere in there, Demora is born, because we see her in 2293 at the helm of the Enterprise B.
Right.
And if you unroll 22 years, you end up in 2271, right after he returns. So somewhere in there, his daughter is born. And so I have always felt that Sulu's going to have this challenge between family life and work. And somehow he's got to try and balance these two. And so I'm hoping to explore that space more.
Right on. What about you, Mike? What do you want for Kirk coming up? You personally, what would you like to see for Kirk?
Well, I'm pretty open-minded to whatever David or Jens have in mind. When Jens makes a show, it's usually a lot of humor, and when David makes up a show, it's kind of following what his interests are at the time, and that kind of overlaps with Bill and Ken and what they'd like to see. And for a while, I've had a couple of ideas about kind of mixing genres in with Star Trek, not necessarily dealing with Kirk and our familiar characters, but now if anything comes of those scripts, and then I'll be happy to share them. But I got to revise them and see if I actually think they're worth doing or not. Because sometimes you write something, you're like, yeah, I kind of like the idea, but it's not going to play. And as far as personal stuff going on in the immediate future, there's a lot. Let's see. Tomorrow, I'm going to be at San Diego Comic-Con performing with the Saber Guild on stage. They're the part of the halftime show for the Masquerade event. The next day, I'll be marching with the Jedi and the Rebel Legion and 501st in the Hollywood Christmas Parade. Monday, I'm returning back to Hollywood to see Bill and his premiere. And then we got another Star Wars fan film. We're going to shoot on a virtual set.
Oh, wow.
We're going to shoot on a virtual set, and that's in January. Should be very interesting. LED walls and the whole thing. So I'm very curious how that's going to work. I've never been involved with anything like that before, to a scale like that.
Oh, right on, man. So Bill, what would you like to see for Admiral Curry coming up?
I want David to finish our film time and time again. So I think that's going to be my favorite character as Admiral Curry, but we just have to finish shooting it.
Mm-hmm. And that was actually the second film we began. That's before everything shut down. So we're like half done.
Sooner while I still have hair.
Well, I can still fit in my costume.
Exactly. And then I'll be at LA Comic-Con December 3rd and 4th premiering Renegades on Manara. So I'm not sure if you guys can see it, but
yeah.
So that'll be premiering. Okay. I'm actually in it, so I'm pretty excited about that.
Is that the final one that they're doing?
I don't think it's going to be a continuing storyline. We're doing what's called TV episodes.
Oh, okay.
But it's the final film of Nichelle Nichols.
Yes.
And
yep.
And I think, Bill, if I'm not mistaken, you're executive producer on that, aren't you?
I'm one of the executive producers. Yes.
Yeah.
I think my character, if I remember correctly, I'm a scientist. His name is Phillips.
Aha! You got the Phil in there.
I know.
As a Phil Curry.
And that was not my doing.
So Mike and I are also going to be at the LA Comic-Con that weekend as well. We're volunteering with a group called the USS Artesia that is actually going to be working the Nichelle Nichols convention, which is kind of a sub-convention within that LA Comic-Con. And we're also going to be going to the VIP party for the Omnivora for the movie as well. So we'll be seeing Bill there as well at that the party, the premiere thing.
It should be fun. I'm excited to see you guys.
How many people are going to be at the premiere?
Which one?
The San Diego one.
Oh no, you're talking about the LA Comic Con.
Yeah, the LA one. Yeah.
I don't know. Would you know, Bill? How many?
I don't have a head count. No, I don't.
Yeah, but supposedly, I guess Nichols will be there, and some other probably Tim Russ. Tim Russ' band is going to be playing. I think Gary Graham, his band is playing, or I don't know if they're playing together or not in the same band, but they're supposed to both be there providing the musical entertainment.
The Sons of Kirk, right?
I think that's Gary Graham's band.
Yeah.
Sons of Kirk. I don't know.
Tim also has a band, Tim Russ Crew.
Yeah, there's a Tim Russ band too. So I don't know. Maybe they're both going to be performing. I'm not sure.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah,
I'm a fan.
And
Tim Russ directed Amanara, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. I'm sure that let's see. Isn't what's his name? Plays Chekhov. Is he going to be there?
Walter?
Yeah, is Walter Koenig? Walter
I believe
Koenig.
he is. I know he will be.
He's slated to attend. He's slated to attend.
Yeah, and there's probably other Star Trek celebs that will be at the premiere, I'm sure.
I didn't think Nichelle was doing that well.
You know, when we filmed for Amanara, she hit everything perfectly. All her lines she said perfectly. They only had to do 1 or 2 takes. She was on it. I was scared because I was the next scene. I'm like, oh crap, she's doing better than me. So it was a little nerve-wracking.
Well, that's good. I had heard that she wasn't doing well. So
yeah, she was doing. When we filmed it, she was doing fantastic. She was fabulous.
Sweet.
So
well,
David,
she had? I mean, it's well known she's had some health issues over the years. But it's which is, I guess, it helps to explain why this is her last film, and this convention is supposed to be her last, public convention that she'll be appearing at.
Yeah, it's her farewell.
Yeah,
it's good that she's able to do things on her terms instead of it, kind of being taken out from her. She's able to properly do the goodbye that she wants to do. So that's good that she's able to do it that. So.
Yeah.
So David, what do you have? What do you have set for Nogura that you want to do?
Well, like Bill mentioned, we're trying to finish this Time and Time Again film, which actually will be starting out. Which actually will be dealing with Nogura's impending retirement from Starfleet, and what happens after that. So we started it in 2019 that we started it, something like that. And we were trying to finish it up, but COVID hit. And so we've had a lot of delays trying to finish it up because of COVID and trying to schedule people to do the scenes. And now, now Bill is busy up the yazoo. It's really hard to work around his schedule. So we've had a lot of scheduling issues and things we've had to deal with. But I'm hoping that we can, by next year, finally finish shooting it and then we can get it done.
Now,
but our most immediate thing that's coming up is our, like I mentioned before, our departure. We're going to be doing Borg Hunters, which will be featuring Captain Harry Kim, as well as Captain Chakotay on a adventure, which is going to be, a big departure from our TOS kind of, centered films. So
now, when is that supposed to be releasing again?
That's a good question. That depends partly on Mike. When he can
No pressure, Mike.
When Mike can get all the special effects stuff done, along with
no, we're going to try to outsource some of that because some of it's definitely it requires After Effects expertise.
We have the main basic edit done already. It's just now a matter of adding all the special effects and the sounds and the music.
Do you need some of that outsourced? Because if you do, I don't mind helping out on that. If you do need some help.
I wait a minute. I heard Captain Kim. Is that what somebody said?
Yeah, was that a surprise? Because you usually hear a different title in front of him all the time.
I call shenanigans. He is the forever ensign. So this must be a totally different timeline.
Well, it could be, but it also could be a part of his life that we haven't seen yet, and that we are going to see now.
Forever ensign.
Well, that's what people say, but you'll have to watch the film to see what happens.
Well, if you guys do need extra help on that, by all means, let me know. I have friends that, that's what we do. And it's part of the beauty of fan films is, people helping people, geeks helping geeks. So, if you need help, by all means, reach out, let me know. And I have friends that help. So, don't go it alone if you need help. So, more than happy to help. So that being said,
Wait. Before we go, I just want to get a happy birthday from everyone.
Happy birthday!
Yeah.
Happy birthday, everyone!
No, Monday's my birthday. So.
Oh wow!
Well, happy birthday, Cora!
Happy birthday, Cora!
Yeah. Thank you. Happy holidays to everyone.
Thank you for having us on this show, and for allowing us to be part of this platform and showing peace and goodwill, and being able to discuss some aspects of it. It was a fun thing to do. It was a bit nerve-wracking because we were working with a short amount of time. I came up with the idea of doing the movie, I think, in October, and we were trying to get it released end of November initially, and then we ended up releasing it early December. So there was a really short time frame in which to work, but everyone worked together and we worked hard in getting it done. So appreciate everyone who did that, and appreciate you guys, having us on.
Why don't we pencil you guys in next year for Black Friday, the day after Thanksgiving?
Yeah, I don't mind. I'd like to watch this film every year. To remind Trekkies to the Christmas spirit. I don't mind making it a yearly tradition. And you guys are always welcome back every time you guys release a film. Because you guys, like I said earlier, you guys are extended family, and I love these Brady Bunch sessions we got going on here.
Next year I expect there to be a Die Hard Star Trek movie.
I'm saying Christmas Story, No, you guys are always welcome on the channel, and we support you guys 100%. You guys are wonderful people. And it's always easy to support good people. So, good, kind-hearted people. So, we love you. So, you're always welcome here. So
thanks. And Vance, I also wanted to just congratulate you too for your nomination on the
Bicho Award.
Bicho Awards. Yeah,
multiple Bicho Awards.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. No, I appreciate it. So, all right. Well, with that being said, I think that's it for tonight. Everybody, we will put a description to Frank. Do we have the link description? Or not description? Do we have the link to the movie in the description?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
If I don't, I will.
Okay. Everybody in the chat, give us about 5 minutes. We'll have it in the description. Everyone who's watching this on the rewind, click on the link. Go check out their channel. Go watch a movie of theirs. Give it a thumbs up. Go subscribe to them. Go support good content, which they are. So with that being said, everybody at home, be genuine, be safe, and keep on geeking on, guys.
Ho, ho, ho.
Ho, ho, ho.
Okay, ending broadcast. Wait a minute, where's that?